All right, good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm with the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, Exploring Career-Based Education and Careers, sponsored by Tulsa Welding School. Tulsa Welding School has 3 locations, one in Jacksonville, Florida, another in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a third in Houston, Texas. Tulsa Welding School is also a 22-year partner of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 5,000 enrolling Imagine America students. If you'd like more information on our scholarship program and how your students can go about applying for the scholarship to attend this institution, please visit our website, which is www.imagine-america.org, or you can call or email myself. I will also be sending you a scholarship link and a PDF flyer after this call. But since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians, and especially welders. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country, desperately looking for qualified employees, and we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation again is Tulsa Welding School, and joining me today to discuss in detail this looming technician shortage and how Tulsa Welding School is helping meet this need is Raina Gilliard-Crowther. Raina is a high school director of training at Tulsa Welding School and has been working with high schools and higher education for years now, so you're in great hands today. But before turning the program over to Raina, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of this presentation. All participants can and are encouraged to submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A or the chat feature in this Zoom meeting, because at the end of the presentation, or approximately 10:25-ish, we will then be presenting any questions offered by the participants, and we'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses and follow-up emails. So as we're going through this presentation, if you find yourself needing to ask a question, please type it in. We will have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. to be respectful of your time. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Raina. Raina, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Raina Gilliard-Crowther. I am the high school director of training at the Tulsa Welding School. I have been in education since I was 22 years old, starting off in early education, being a teacher, and then moving over into higher education. One of the great things that I love about the Tulsa Welding School and trades in general is that it is for everyone, students who have experience and students that don't. Our partnership with Imagine America has been amazing. When I was admissions representative, it helped me help my students get to school. This is a great scholarship opportunity that allows students to get themselves from where they are to where they want to be. And we're going to talk a little bit about this skilled trades, welding, HVAC, and electrical, because we offer all 3 at our campuses, which people are often shocked about. Tulsa Welding School is the largest accredited welding school in the U.S., and now we've branched out with our sister school, RSI, to offer HVAC and electrical. As a school teacher myself, I know that I was always searching to help find my students the best place. And one of the great things about our program is that every day we have high school admissions representatives that are going into the schools, trying to partner with counselors and administrators to help students figure out what to do next. We look forward to bettering every community that our students are coming from by helping them gain skills. And so we're going to talk a little bit about welding, a little bit about HVAC and electrical, but a lot about how we can help you as counselors and administrators help your students get to the next level.
I think you have to click on the PowerPoint and then click again.
I'm clicking, it's not, hold on a second.
There we go.
There we go. Just so everyone knows, I'm actually on the East Coast this week working with a representative, so it's very early here. Why technical education makes sense, just in Texas alone, but we have more than 800,000 jobs available in the central region for students that have skilled trades. Gen Z is saying that 61% of them want skilled-based education. It makes sense for them. 50% of students are open to something other than a four-year college path. And 50% are concerned about graduating with debt. That's a huge concern for all of us these days. 45% of Gen Z agrees that an education that they can complete in a shorter period of time, 2 years or less, is preferred so they can start their career path and start earning an income sooner. That's one of the great things about our programs at Tulsa Welding School. They're anywhere from 7 to 10 months. So fast paced for a student who may not want to be prepared to spend 4 years in a college right away. It doesn't mean that our students don't wind up going to four-year colleges later on. It just means that today that they're not ready for that, or today that investment is not an option for them. We are accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Colleges. We are licensed by the Texas Workforce Commission. If you're in one of our East Coast schools, we are licensed by the Workforce Commission in Florida as well, and the American Welding Society, or the Better Business Bureau. What that means to our students and our community partners is it's a standard of excellence. Being an accredited school means that we're eligible for federal student financial aid. So the FAFSA, we actually have our own in-house financial aid department that partners with our students and their families virtually or on our campuses to complete financial aid funding, so they don't have to figure out how to do it themselves. A lot of school counselors I know spend a lot of time helping students start their FAFSA. We have a department that takes all your hard work and then pushes it forward to complete that process. What we can do for you. We have so many tools that we can do to support our schools. One of my favorite ones is interactive senior presentations. We have presentations that are geared to match up with anything from senior English to econ and government. I have a history degree when I graduated from Texas A&M, so I'm partial to the economics department in the government, but our in-school presentations for seniors talks about the laws of supplies and demand. It talks about scarcity, but it really focuses on them exploring their career options outside of high school. What can I do? This is not saying that welding or HVAC or a trade is for everyone. This is telling our senior population that everyone deserves success, but everyone has to move towards success. I know as an educator, every day I was advocating for students to pick their path. But sometimes it takes having someone come in with a different voice to help you get them on that path to success. In fact, our presentation is called The Road to Success. Campus field trips. Every one of our campuses is open to you to book field trips for, whether it's for your CTE programs or if it's for general academics. We love having students come to our campuses, so you can work with myself or one of our local representatives to book a field trip. We'll even feed y'all lunch. We do lunch and learns for staff. Some of you are probably thinking, I know nothing about the trades. So we'll come in and do breakfast. We can do lunch. I know when I was a teacher, a lot of my staff meetings were after hours, so we always needed snacks. And we'll come in and talk about our programs, but we'll also provide you with lunch. You can also, if you're local to one of our schools, if you need a meeting space, we have beautiful campuses that have boardrooms, classrooms. We can also offer continuing education credits to our instructors. So if you have that CTE instructor that is needing recertification or continuing education credits to keep their license up, we are starting to have back again on our campuses opportunities for staff to come in and get some continuing education credits. Depending on where you live, we can do remote demonstrations. In our Houston market, we actually have a full service welding trailer that we take to campuses where students and teachers alike, anyone, as long as they're wearing closed-toed shoes and jeans, can have the opportunity to try out all the 4 major processes of welding. Now, for our other schools like Jacksonville and Tulsa, we can send an instructor with a representative to your school, and they can actually show your students what we teach in our programs. So we are really reaching out to our community and asking for, how can we help you? So that's my question to you today. What can Tulsa Welding School do to help you? And that could be anywhere that you live, we have a representative. So someone in your community can partner with you to get you the information that you need. The trades are booming. We have a shortage. The average age of a welder right now in the US is over 55 years old. And that could be said the same for electricians and HVAC technicians. We know that in the coming years, we have roughly 452,000 job openings for welders just in the US alone. 795,000 openings in the US alone for electricians. 399,000 for HVAC and refrigeration. So our HVAC program not only teaches heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, it touches on solar and teaches them commercial refrigeration. Commercial refrigeration is when you go into that grocery store and you pull out that gallon of milk for your kiddos. That's why that refrigerator is still cold. It runs on a condenser. It's not like a regular refrigerator. So an HVAC technician has to repair it. In fact, most major grocery chains have HVAC technicians on call 24 hours a day because they can't have their refrigerators go down. So we know that just in the US alone, in the coming years, we're going to have 1.6 million openings for tradesmen and women. So if you have a student who's trying to leave their community, there's opportunities. If you have a student that wants to travel and see the world, why earning a paycheck, never been out of your state, never been out of your town. These are worldwide opportunities. That's what's so great about the trades. That's what made me so passionate about them, is that it's an opportunity for a student to get out of their community, see the world at a young age, and earn a living at a very young age. Average student graduates from Tulsa Welding School 19 to 20 years old. And women in the trades are most definitely happening. In fact, there's a high demand. Our employers are seeking out females. It's kind of like what we saw in engineering in the 90s, where engineering firms were coming and recruiting directly women to become engineers. Some of the best welders in the world, HVAC technicians, happen to be women. And we have one of the highest populations of women in the trade school industry at the Tulsa Welding School campuses. So our programs are designed for students to get in and get out in a short period of time, which is great. A lot of this generation, they want a short-term investment. They want to be able to complete something quickly. So our professional welders program is only 7 months long. That means a student can come to us with zero experience. They don't have to take in welding in your schools. They can, but they don't have to. 7 months long. Electrical, mechanical, that's going to be when we combine refrigeration with electrician training, the best of both worlds, 9 months long. Refrigeration technology is what we call our HVAC, ventilation, air conditioning program with our refrigeration, 7 months. And then simply electrical application, which would be residential and commercial electrician training, 7 months. So on average, our programs are 7 to 10 months long if you round them up. So it's a short-term investment for a student to be able to get in and get out and start their professional career at a young age. We also have career assistance for them after they graduate. So that means all the time that they're with us at Tulsa Welding School, that's 7 months, we're teaching them how to build a resume. We have our career services department out there seeking employment for them. One of the cool things about our school is that as long as they are in good standing with our program, they can come back at any time and retrain. So that means that they can continue their education for zero tuition investment for themselves or their employers, which is a very unique thing in the educational industry. I know a lot of you are thinking like me. I went to the traditional college, that if I want to go back to Texas A&M where I graduated from, I have to pay for tuition and books and all those things, but not at Tulsa Welding School. They can come back at any time and they can retrain, or if we start teaching a new program, they can take that as well. Electrical, mechanical, refrigeration technology, we're going to cover everything from air conditioning, servicing and repair, climate control, residential and commercial electric installation, and solar technology. We know right now there's a huge movement in the green industry, right? So having skills in solar in any state is a huge thing because solar is definitely growing. And let's all be honest, none of us like to be cold in the winter and none of us like to be hot in the summer. So no matter where you're located, an HVAC technician is important in your life, and everything runs off of electricity these days. So this is an opportunity for a student in 9 months to be able to not only go find work in the HVAC industry, but in the electrical industry as well. Electrical applications is only 7 months long. This is going to help them completely learn how to wire and scale down a 3-bedroom home. We have mock homes and mock commercial buildings at our campuses. They'll learn to wire lighting and in the 3-phase motor. They're going to also prepare to take their electrical testing for certification if your state requires it. Apply proper methods for grounding and bonding. All of these are hands-on. So we actually literally have circuit boards and running wire in our program. So they're learning by doing. In the electrical and the HVAC program, it's about a 70% classroom, 70% lab model. So we have to do a little bit more time in the lab in our electrical and our HVAC programs than we do in our welding. That's because of safety and also learning codes. So we want to make sure that our students fully understand codes and safety before we put them on the circuit, a live circuit board. They're going to learn the difference between DC and AC motors, calculate the load requirements for branch and feeders, gain an understanding of the installation of various voice, data, and video cabling systems, and apply all skills accordingly to the current national code requirements and standards. So we're not only preparing them for the codes and the requirements in the state that they're going to work in, but we provide them at the national level because students can find work anywhere. We want to make sure that they're ready. It's in our name, welding, Tulsa Welding School. 7 months with our professional welding program, and if they decide to add on, they can stay with us for an additional 3.5 months and learn pipe fitting as a specialty. Our classes are 80% in the lab, 20% in the classroom. And when we say classroom at Tulsa Welding School, it's an interactive classroom model. What that means is that our students come to school every day dressed, prepared to go into the welding lab or the HVAC or electrical lab, because we're going to teach theory in the classroom. Then we're going to take them into the lab and our teachers show them how to do things. And then we let them practice. So we've learned at Tulsa Welding School that through repetition, that a student can learn anything. Just like you learned how to ride a bike, a student can come to us with no experience and learn how to become an electrician or a professional welder. It's through practice. All of our classes are taught one class at a time, and the students train for 5 weeks, and then they move on to the next class. So it helps them be hyper-focused. Our classroom ratios are 20 students to 1 instructor. So small classroom sizes where the instructors know all of our students' first and last names. Attendance is required at Tulsa Welding School. So if a student does not show up, the instructor calls them, hey, where are you? Come to class today. And then we also have our career services department, our student services department, as well as our student financial services department to help our students throughout the process. So there's a lot of support in our schools. Anything from, I forgot my lunch today. Guess what? You can come and we'll give you lunch. Our classes in our welding program teach the 4 major processes of welding, which means that they're able to find employment in any part of the industry that they're interested, everything from pipe to aircraft to high frequency TIG. We believe in interactive education, and this year we launched our AccuWeld program. AccuWeld is an interactive welding program that is virtual reality using an Oculus 2, which is included in all of our students' tuition investment. It is AccuWeld made by welders for welders. We literally sent our top instructors and our national training director to a virtual reality gaming company, and they spent 2 years with them developing this AccuWeld program. It does not replace class time, it enhances. So every student, when they start Tulsa Welding School, included in their gear kit, and I forgot to mention that, all of your gear and materials are included in the tuition investment for our students. So the only thing that they're coming to us with is their clothing. So you get your Oculus 2 that's loaded with the AccuWeld program, or if you're in our electrical or HVAC program, it has the appropriate programs loaded for that. It allows our students without internet connection to be able to literally go put the Oculus on and do 19 different courses in our welding program and continuing to add, no Wi-Fi necessary, but it's so realistic that when a student, and I've actually used the Oculus myself in the OcuWeld program, the first time I used it, it shocked me. I was like, oh, I don't have protective eye gear on, because it's so realistic that there are sparks. If they are stick welding, if the stick melts down and they have to reload, all of this is to get them better. They can pipe weld on their TIG weld, but even after they graduate, they'll have access to this system because it goes with them. And as long as they update in the App Store their OcuWeld or their HVAC program, as we add different programs, they can continue to use it for life. So with Tulsa Welding School, it's not just about the time that you're with us in the school, it's about what happens after you graduate as well. So when they leave us with all of their starter gear that they need for entry-level positions. So whether that is welding gear or HVAC or electrical, everything's included for the student and the parent. So for a student that has no experience, the parents are not running around trying to figure out what do I need to buy for them to start school. Also, from the financial aid standpoint of it, this helps our families be able to utilize their financial aid funding to pay for tools that they need for school. All right, scholarships. That's one of the things that we love the most. So every year at all of our Tulsa Welding School campuses, we have our National High School Welding Competition. That will be for Tulsa, Jacksonville, and Houston. The cool thing is students can actually register at all 3 locations. Now you might be thinking, what if I have students who've never ever welded before? Well, they can still register at all 3 campuses and earn a $500 guaranteed scholarship just for showing up. Now our students that are welding are trying to earn up to a full tuition scholarship. I've actually been lucky enough to have students get into the top 3. So I've had students get partial tuition scholarships as well. This is a great opportunity for families to come visit our school. On those days, not only are we having the welding competition, but I like to call it a birthday party for welding. We have our financial aid representatives, our career services, students are touring the school, our housing partner, EduRent, because some of you are thinking, where do these students live? Do y'all have dorms? We use a housing partner called EduRent to help our students find affordable housing. But this is a day where they can come to the campus with their families, earn a $500 scholarship guaranteed, and also meet other students coming to school, but take care of a lot of the needs that they need to take care of, such as guaranteeing their housing, visiting the campus. All of this is put in place for student success. Everything we do at Tulsa Welding School is about student success. We want our students to not only start Tulsa Welding School, but we want them to graduate. And we have graduates all across the world and all across the US. Why Tulsa Welding School? On average, across our campuses, an 89% employment placement rate. That means 89% of our students utilize our campus career services to help them find employment. We have partnerships for training with companies like Amazon. Amazon has come to us and is utilizing our mobile welding training program to come and train their employees. No unrelated courses. Students learn directly what is related to their selected career field. That means no standardized testing for our students, and they're only taking classes related to electrical, HVAC, or welding. For a lot of our students that are just barely floating through, we know that they come to school because they have to. Our students come to school because they are excited and want to. Shorter length of curriculum, enter the workforce younger. This allows our students to get in and get out. Some of them, if they start with us in June, will not only graduate high school, but finish Tulsa Welding School in 1 year. So they get everything done in a short period of time. We know with our current generation that they have that 5-minute mindset. So we've made it so where they can complete their professional training before they lose interest. Private schools can teach innovation. We are very fortunate. I've been in the public school assistant before, we don't have to wait for a bond election. We don't have to wait for something. When we wanted to launch the AccuWeld program, we were just able to launch it. When we see a need that will help our students, we're able to fulfill it immediately without having to wait for someone to approve it. Career assistance during and after graduation for those in good standing. We will help students find a part-time job if they need us to while they're in school, but we're going to help them find their career. And then after they graduate, if they decide that they want to change, we work with our students for the rest of their life to help find them employment any place that they're going. And our student body consists of students with related interests. Everyone at the Tulsa Welding School, including our staff, is supportive of the trades, but everyone's a hands-on learner, a doer, maker, builder. So when you get students in an environment where everyone is excited and pumped up about their success, they have no choice but to be excited and pumped up about their success. It's a positive environment. Practical hands-on training. Students learn by doing. All of our programs are hands-on and designed for our students to have real-world training opportunities, but to spend the most time possible actually working in their trade versus sitting around doing book work. There's nothing wrong with book work, but for a tradesman or woman, they need to physically be doing it to gain that skill. And then, of course, our tuition-free graduate retraining program. At any time that a student after they graduate can come back to Tulsa Welding School for no tuition investment to themselves or their employer and retrain to be better, learn a new process, but also train directly for that employer's need. So if a student goes off and gets a job with an employer and they say, I have an opportunity for you to move up in this industry, you need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. They bring back that blueprint, that spec, or those dimensions to us, and we will train them directly for the demand that their employer has set for them. This is a lifelong benefit, which makes our students more marketable. Employers come to Tulsa Welding School because they know, one, that we run our school like a professional program, but two, because they can send their employer or employee back at any time to retrain to their demands. We always have at least 10 welding booths open for retraining in the welding program at any time. A student in any program just has to give us a phone call. We ask for 24-hour advance notice. This is so that we can make sure that we have an instructor that is ready to go to train you in whatever it is that you need retraining in. We have open houses. Next one's coming up April 6th and April 9th for your campuses, but also we are an accredited school, so we're eligible for the Federal Student Financial Assistance Programs, FAFSA. All of our schools have the exact same school code. So when you're helping a student put in their school code for their FAFSA, it's going to come up Tulsa, Oklahoma. Don't freak out if you're not going to the Tulsa campus. It's all the same to make it easier for our counselors and our students. All right, so we are done for the day.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you, Raina. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. We have just a few minutes. So if you have a question for Raina or myself, please type it into the Q&A feature. First question, this person wants to know if there is, and I think you touched on it earlier, if there is housing available for students that might be coming from, out of town, or maybe they live in Southern Florida. And I'm sure, as I know this is the case because I get students that apply for the scholarships all the time from Georgia or Miami that are coming from those locations to go to your Jacksonville campus. But is there student housing or some sort of housing assistance for those students?
Yes, 100%. So we use a partner called EduRent. EduRent helps our students find affordable housing within close proximity of campus. That could be through their program called shared housing, which is kind of like dorm style living. 4 guys or 4 girls in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that's fully furnished. Utilities are paid. Or if they want to live on their own, they can help them find an apartment as well that is student friendly. All of the leases are built around a student's schedule. So if a student's going to be in school for 7 months, they're on a 7-month lease. If a student's going to be in school for 10 months, they're on a 10-month lease without penalties, because EduRent has partnered with these apartment complexes and vetted them to make sure that not only that they're willing to do that, but they get discounted rent, and they don't get penalized for having a short-term lease. So I've moved students as far away as Anchorage, Alaska to our campuses. So it's all done virtually. So the parents can actually look at the apartments online And then when they come to one of our open houses or to the welding competition, they can see them, they can get a list of apartments that they like, and they can go look at them in person. So all of this is done virtually for them, so they don't have to keep coming to Florida to visit the campus.
Yeah, and speaking of, doing something virtually, I know that we had a counselor on this call that would like to know if you were going to be available to come to their high school. However, they're in South Carolina. So I know you have reps that, in various places around the country.
I do
but
have a South Carolina rep, and he
Okay,
would
great.
love to come to your high school.
Okay, all right. Well, I will connect you after this presentation. Just a few house cleaning items here before we close. It is 10:30. I just want to let you know that we have recorded this session. I'll be sending it to all of you. There is an exit survey when you leave this meeting. If you wouldn't mind answering those questions, it's really just 4 questions, and any sort of feedback would really help us as we do presentations like this across the country. So if there's anything maybe you didn't hear that you wanted to hear, please indicate so on the exit survey. Just before closing, I want to thank all of you for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedules. And I'd also like to thank Raina for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage you to contact her with any future questions you may have. I will include Raina's contact information in the email that I send to you, likely tomorrow morning with this recording. On behalf of Imagine America, Raina and myself, I want to thank you and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.